Introducing the Paddy Power World Darts Championship.
Nathan, many congratulations. A straight sets win. Did that game go exactly how you planned it?
Yeah, he did. You know, I thought he played a bit better than that, if I'm dead honest with you, but it was tough because, you know, for me, the game plan was to win the first set, obviously, but you know the Ali Pally crowd, they're fantastic, but they love an underdog. You know, I've been in that position myself where you're an underdog and they want you to win, and the last thing I wanted was 3,000 people chanting USA. So it was important to win that first set. I did. After I won the second set, in my head I'd won, which is always dangerous. But the job was done. I think he didn't throw anything really at me. You know, I never set up shots when a guy's on a finish, and I can't remember what it was, but I didn't go for the bull, and he was on. I think he was on 1-5-2. I never do that, but that's how I felt my opponent was playing at that time. So yeah, it was a straightforward win. Every time he kind of hit a decent score, I hit a decent score. I did what I had to do, and that was it.
Do you take a lot of confidence from the fact that you won this game without kind of getting into your fifth gear, if you will? You averaged 92, which is a good performance, but we didn't see like the prime Nathan Aspinall up there.
No, and I wanted to. You know, I think the first game I was a bag of nerves, but I played well and produced some good stuff. I thought tonight, the way I was practicing, I had a chat with Luke beforehand, and I felt really good. But sometimes, you know, we're not robots. You know, it's hard to play amazing when your guy's not playing well. You know, and then sometimes you can get in that trap of trying too hard to impress the crowd, and then it all just goes Pete Tong, you know what I mean? So, no, I think obviously when I went 2-0 up, I said to Dean at the break, I was like, just win this leg, win this set. It's not been great, but I've won and I'm back after Christmas, and that's what I did.
And you've returned after Christmas 7 times out of 8 appearances here, a very impressive record.
Yeah.
Are you, at this stage of your career and at this tournament, where do you think your confidence is at compared to those other years?
It's the highest it's ever been, by an absolute country mile. There's not even any comparison. You know, this is the first time since I can remember. I said it. My last game when I won, I've got no injuries, got no dartitis. There's absolutely no. I love to moan, and I can't moan about anything. Yeah, I just feel great. You know, everything's fantastic, and you know, I played. You know, not played on the last day this year, which is great, so I can get an extra day at home. But now I feel confident, and I'm not. It's going to sound. I don't want to sound disrespectful. I feel like I'm not even really. I have tried. That sounds wrong, but I've not been as focused as I should do because I feel like I've not had to, and I feel like I've saved a lot of mental energy over these first 2 games, and you know, I think I'll need that. You know, after Christmas, certainly. You know, got Kevin next, great player. But yeah, I'm confident that I can have a deep one.
Best of luck.
Cheers, mate.
Nathan, congratulations. When we lose James Wade and Gerwyn Price in a short space of time, 2 players in the top 10, does that sharpen your mind and everyone else's mind to stay focused? Because losing big players like that early just sends shockwaves through the tournament.
Nah, I don't really think so. I think, you know, I know my little section. To get to where I know my little section, and I'm like, it don't really affect me. But no, I think the only thing it does say, like you just said then, is don't take people for granted. You know, I took Lawrence for granted first game. I'll openly admit it, and he played fantastic. And if he took that set to go 2-all, who knows what would have happened. But I think that's the one thing I took away from the not necessarily Wade, because Ricky's a fantastic dart player. But certainly Gezi last night. Well, Wes is a great player. You know what I mean? He played amazing. It's you don't take your opponent lightly, and I didn't take Leonard lightly at all tonight. But you know, very quickly you get to see where their game's at, and it wasn't good enough to beat me tonight. And you know, I stay focused for the job in hand.
The bit you said on your Sky interview about wanting to put on a performance like early in the tournament. The longer the tournament goes, with the stakes getting higher, the title and the money on offer, is it harder to put on those performances and please the crowd instead of just being businesslike?
I think the first two games, because again, I don't want to be disrespectful to my opponents, but I should win. You know what I mean? And if I don't win, it's a massive upset, and you know, people say I'm rubbish, that kind of thing. That's when you want to put a show on. Last 32 after Christmas, you don't care about that. You care about winning. You know, you've had the 2 games to settle into the tournament, and you know, potentially if your opponent doesn't play very well, put on a show. Like tonight, didn't happen. I still won. When you come back after 32, I ain't thinking like that. I'm thinking about winning my game against a very tough opponent, and anyone that's left in this last 32 are fantastic dart players, and you have to be on your A game.
Well, you touched on your opponent, Kevin Dukes. You said that he's got a good record against you. Does that, again, motivate you even more when the record is like that?
Yeah. You know, Kevin's a fantastic, I think he's a very underrated dart player. I thought he handled himself very well this afternoon. I said it on TalkSport before. The crowd obviously were well against him, and he handled himself very well. Got an absolute pants record against Kevin. I think he's only beaten once. I don't know 100%, but I think it's only once. But it's a World Championship stage. You know, I've got a lot more stage experience than him. I play pretty steady to get through to after Christmas, and I'm probably averaging higher than him, and I've not really tried that much. So yeah, I'm confident I'll come through, but I have got to be on my game. Cheers, mate.
Nathan, well done tonight. You said about that focus maybe hasn't been quite at 100% yet. What do you have to do to make sure that it is at 100% post-Christmas?
My opponents play better against me, and I'm not being obnoxious there. You know, if my opponents are playing better against me, I've got to be sharper and more focused. But you know, I played Leonard Gates tonight, and you know, I think he played a lot better than that last time I played him here. When they're throwing 45s and 60s and 85s against you, it's hard to, you know, you're having that many darts at double. You know, you're leaving 64 and the guy's still on 250. It's hard to get that extra. I don't want to sound a muppet because everyone jumps on it, but it's hard to produce your A-star stuff when you're getting C level thrown back at you. You know what I mean? And yeah, I think, you know, halfway through that game, I'm like just concentrate on winning the game, win the game, and yeah, we'll see what happens after Christmas.
You spoke about it on Sky, but when Leonard came in here after his first run, when he said he would try and have a little go in the practice room, he said about the Chewbacca mask. Just explain all that to us.
Oh God, I was really scared. I'm not gonna lie. I walked in and some guys tapped me on the shoulder and I turned around and I got Chewbacca shouting at me. And it was Leonard Gates with this mask on. It was quite terrifying, I'm not going to lie. I think the maddest thing out of it all was we bulled up. I won the bull. And then like he was practicing in a different room. And then he decided to then stay on that dartboard for the next 10 minutes, practicing with the Chewbacca mask on, which I thought was absolutely mental. And I actually went up to him, are you playing in that or what? But no, he's a nice guy. He's a character, and you know, he could have been a tricky opponent. Luckily he wasn't, but yeah, I wish him all the best.
Nathan, well done on that victory. You said that Leonard didn't play his best stuff, but how did you find the game playing against him? To know the game against Lawrence Lager was really difficult for you. Yeah. How was it playing Leonard? No, because he just played his darts, you know what I mean? He threw his darts. He was a lot quicker than I thought he'd be, actually, to be fair to him. He threw his darts, took his darts out, stood behind me, let me throw my darts, and it was a game of darts. And that's why there was no dramas on stage or anything tonight. He just played a game of darts, and you know, I played a game of darts, and I was better when I won, and simple as that. You said that your confidence is higher now than it's ever been. Why is it higher now compared to when you lifted the UK Open or won the World Match Play? I'm more consistent. You know, I won the match play with dartitis. I've got none of that to contend with. I'm just happy, and I've had a fantastic season. There's not many people in the world of darts that have had a better season than me. You know, I think I won 3, maybe 4 titles, I can't remember. But you know, I've had a great season, and obviously when you're winning, you're getting confidence from that. There's no better feeling in the world than winning darts tournaments, and I've won a few this year, and yeah, just combination of lots of things, mate, to be fair. When you had all the issues with the injuries and also the dartitis, did you really believe in yourself that you could get back to this level where you're sitting in front of us saying this is the best that you've ever played? Tough question, really, because I've said in a few interviews where, like, when he had I remember, I think it was, well, there's always a story with me. We went to KFC, me, Kirsty and the girls last week,
and Denton Rock near Manchester. And I said, you know, remember the last time we was in Akehurst? Actually, we came back from a darts tournament. And yeah, that was when I threw my dart when I played Rasma on the stream, and that was when I remember sat in there and I went, I'm quitting darts. That was probably 13 months ago. I was in tears. I went, I can't do this anymore. I didn't play darts for this. And I rang Chris O'Connor up, who does my hypnotherapy, and that guy saved me. So, did I think I'd be sat here as confident thinking I could win the World Championship? No. But I've fought for everything that I'm at now. And, you know, I don't often blow smoke up my arse, but I've done pretty well.
Thank you, Nathan. Well played tonight.
Mate. I can say that, can't I? Yeah. You're not bleeping that one out, are you? How have you got in here? I want to mess it up.
Nathan, congratulations on a real businessman performance there.
Thank you.
You've got a reputation of being a dogged performer. You love a scrap on the board. As you said, you play better, your best darts when your opponent's throwing haymakers at you. You have that ability to throw them back. But now your game's developed even more, where you're sitting there with a bundle of confidence and you're starting to believe in yourself a lot more.
Yeah.
Obviously, you've just mentioned there about the hypnotherapy. What else has changed in your approach?
Again, confidence from winning. That's certainly the biggest thing. But the stuff I do away from the hockey is massive. You know, I'm not going to bore you all again with what I said the other night, but you know, I think it's gone down quite well. I've seen the comments and the reviews, what people have said, and obviously you boys have shared it all, and I think it's gone down fantastic, and I meant every word. But you know, I do a lot of work away from the hockey. I've got a fantastic family. I've just got everything that you need to be a successful sportsman. I don't know why I'm a lucky guy, but I've got everything that I need at my fingertips, and it's down to you to use them and to take advantage of what you've got and not do stupid things. And you know, I've done stupid things in the past, but now I'm like, there's a lot of money, there's a lot of tournaments, there's a lot of trophies to be won. I've been given a gift, an opportunity to be very successful in life, and don't F it up, and just try and do everything you can to be the best version of yourself.
So, using your nickname, do you think you've shed all that old skin and dead skin?
Wow! You waited ages to say that, yeah.
and this is a new Nathan Aspinall.
Yeah, I think obviously when you've been to the bottom, which I have with my injuries and my diets and everything, when you're winning and you're playing well, that was quality better. But I think you should take every opportunity that is given to you, and you know, I enjoy it. I say it all the time. I try and help people out that are in bad situations. But no, I think I'm a different player this year. Certainly the last 6 months have been fantastic. I've not really shown anything so far in this tournament. I've just won. But yeah, rest assured, I get an extra couple of days at home compared to what I normally get. I'm going to really enjoy my Christmas. I'm going to get absolutely hammered on Christmas Day because I'm not coming back till the 27th. And yeah, we'll see what happens after that.
Well, we wish you the very best luck in the next round. Have a Merry Christmas.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, Nathan, congratulations.
Thank you.
We've seen some of your best stuff on the biggest stage against the best players. So whether that's here at Ali Pali or the Premier League, do you allow yourself to look ahead in the draw, your potential opponents like Luke Humphries, and do you believe you'll hit a new level and you can beat the best players?
Yeah, I think I'm not even concerned about the levels. I said earlier on that everyone else is bothered about averages. Certainly in set play, it means absolutely squat. You know what I mean? And I think if you ask every 128 dart players who's in this World Championship, oh, do you care that you average 92? Everyone will say, not bothered. It's about winning. You know what I mean? Every game's big. You're into that next round. Everyone else is more fixated on the averages than the players. We don't care. The amount of times we could throw legs away because we're not in that leg or whatever. But I know when people are throwing something big at me, I'll reply with something big. And, you know, last 32, that's what you're going to have to do.
And have you been able to look further ahead in the draw at who's, you know, you said you've been looking at your side of the draw. Do you ever concern yourself with that, or do you focus on just Kevin Dutes and then?
Yeah, well, I know I'm going to beat Kevin Dutes, then I'm going to beat Humphreys, and then I got a clue. I knew potential last 16 clash with Luke. That's kind of as far as I've gone. That was kind of my first aim, is get to that last 16, play Luke. We'll see what happens there. Obviously, on paper I should have played Mike Dedeker. I knew that. But it's a clash with Kevin Dutes, and he's a great dart player. Got an absolute terrible record against him, but we'll put it right after Christmas.
Great, thank you.
Cheers.
Nathan, who's in your opinion the best Dutch player at this moment?
Danny Noppet. I want to mention Van Veen. Yeah, I think them two are fantastic dart players. Obviously Michael's been the best for God knows how long, but yeah, Danny Noppet and Van Veen are something special.
Do you see in Gian, he played in the match before you, do you see in him a world champion in the future?
100%. Yeah, he is. You know what? He's such a nice lad as well. He's got his head screwed on. He's had his issues, similar to me. He's got everything that it takes to be a world champion. He looks after himself. He's a nice guy. He talks to the press well. He's mega at darts. So yeah, I hope he has a very successful career. He's a very good player.
Thanks. Good luck against the.
And Merry Christmas to you all.
Introducing the Paddy Power World Darts Championship.